Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, so we are going to start here with the daily time frame, then we're going to work our way down towards the hourly time frame. All right, beginning with SPY, I'm going to point out we have gotten exactly what we were looking for, which was a move back up to test this 433 or 443 to 444 zone, which is the heavily traded zone. You could see the action going on over here. You had a nice gap up over here. You had rejection here. You had rejection here. We know it's a heavily traded zone. You had a bounce going on over here. Boom, you sliced through it. They came back up to it, and you were finding sellers in this zone. Not surprised about that one. I am going to remind everyone we do have NVIDIA earnings after hours. So if we do get a move in either direction, which I don't think that's going to be the case, I think it's much more likely that they trade those options flat over there, or it trades flat and everybody gets IV crushed. Then we get like a 20% move in one direction or a 20% move in the other. But if we do get that massive move, that will determine where SPY and QQQ go from here. I am going to also remind everyone that we have Jackson Hole coming out on Thursday. All right, so Jerome will be speaking there. That will also be a big market mover. So the market is likely to just consolidate here, in my opinion, until these events play out, until one of them gives us direction. And I am going to remind everyone, since we broke down here, we got very close to 431.19, which was the level from all the way back here on the 26th, June 26th, that we were paying attention to. And you got so close to it that we said it's likely that you go down and tap it, but you didn't. So what were we then looking for? We were looking for a rebound, like I was pointing out back here, guys. All RSIs were... They were getting oversold. IWMs hit 30. QQs hit like 34, 33. Buys hit, what is this? The low of 34 over here. Intraday over here. On this day, though, you did have like a 33 RSI. So I was looking for this bounce to either start from here or to start from down here. And it looks like it started from there. We got the move up to the zone, the heavily traded zone we're paying attention to. And my likely scenario is that we see something like this. Now, where do I think we go from here? I think we're going to get a full-on rebound. I'm just going to point that out, all right? If the RSI doesn't tick on all the way back up here, and we don't have a larger correction all the way to 451, I'm going to point out, I think it is likely that we come down here, and then we put in our bottom there. Now, again, I don't have a crystal ball. Like I remind you guys all the time, I don't know what's going to happen. You guys don't know what's going to happen. What we can do is we could say, hey, when things happen on the charts, this is going to be likely. So I am going to put two scenarios on your radar right here, which is we either break up from here, and you're going to know if you start breaking through 444, that is the level to be paying attention to. That will be the top of the zone, 444 30-ish. That is what you're paying attention to. Is actually the high of this candlestick, which is 444.18. You could see that is where sellers stepped in. When you get the back test there, you broke down underneath, boom, you gap down, back tested, and then you were off to the races to the downside. So this is scenario number one. We come up here to 455 or 45155, and we come down and we put in a higher low, which is going to be either from here, or it's going to be probably over here at 438, but we're just going to say it's over here, all right? And then we're going to be back off of the races. That is my scenario number one, which I don't think is likely, but it's on, it's on our radar, all right? Or we reject from here and we come down and we take out this low over here. I mean, or we could really do something like this. I don't know, but I think it's much more likely if we start heading back down, we're going to take out these lows. We're going to come back here, hit 431.19, and then we get the motherload of all buyers stepping in over there. What happens if we're down here? The daily RSI will be at 30, oversold on QQ, SPY, IWM, and, DIA might actually also do that. But that actually brings me over to DIA. I do want to point out, DIA does seem to be basing here. You have a triple bottom going on here on the hourly time frame, and you actually did slightly make a higher high here and a lower low here. So what does that set up, guys? It sets up boom, 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 boom. All right, and we can add a trend line to that. What do we got going on here, eh? Oh, what is that, guys? Do you see what I see? Inverse head and shoulders formation, a basing formation going on the hourly time frame, triple bottom, inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to look at this as. It is bullish structure forming on DIA, right where we were looking at buyers stepping in over here on DIA, and you do see that RSI is starting to tick back up. That doesn't mean it can't tick back down. I am just going to point out it was getting low, And if we do go a little lower, I think a bottom is going to be putting in. And do I think it's going to be a small bottom for a dead cat bounce? No, I think it's probably going to be a major bottom. That's my guess. That will be my bet if I get to take that bet. And yeah, so do what you got to do with your own money. But I'm just telling you guys right now, I think if we continue this sell off here and get down here, I think it's definitely, not definitely, I can't say definitely, but I think it's more likely than not that we do not go to 420 like a lot of people I keep seeing say, because you have no idea that we're going down there until you break through the zone, which is 427. If we start breaking that, you start looking at this low right here, which will be all the way down at 425.82. So 426. If you break 426, then yeah, guys, we're coming to 421 down here. All right, and 420 is likely going to be the psychological hit level that gets hit. All right, but these are my two scenarios that I got going on. I know that's a little crooked of a line here. We can't make it straight anyway. That's okay. All right, crooked is better. You might as well. Stepping on over here to QQQ, I am going to point out, all right, just like SPY, you're coming into a key level. Now, is it as key of a level? No. All right, but as you could see, you got above this. All right, well, it was a red candlestick, so you gapped up, came back, and back tested it. So you gapped up, back tested where you gap through the heavily traded zone over here, just like on 443 to 444 over there on SPY. Back tested it, successful back test, and boom, buyers took the lead over here. Now, I will point out, again, this is a low volume day, so I really do think market participants, I don't think are fully behind this move. I think we've had, decreasing volume on this decline here, or not decline, this rally here. So increasing volume on the decline, decreasing volume on the rally here of 3 days. So I just want to point out which buyer stepped in down here and rallied you up all day. So ever since here, so you have 3 more days of declining volume. That's what I want to point out. And it's the same over here on SPY. Look at this, guys. You have this decreasing volume on this rally right into a key zone. So I do want to point out, I do think it's more likely than not that we just put in a lower low or a lower high, and then we come down here and either make a lower low or we're going to put in a higher low. But I think we're probably going to sell from here. Doesn't have to happen. Above here, 370.47, which is the high of this candlestick over here. Then we are going to be looking for a move all the way up here is really the level that I would draw that at. And if you really want to put a zone on it, you could do something like this, because you could see this is where the seller stepped in over here. But the high of this candlestick was 375.29. So that is the level that we pay attention to if we break above 370.47, which that is a decent move up, all right, from this 370.47. That is a 1.25% move right there. There you go. Now, what we will also do is come over here to IWM, and I am going to point out, if you come up here into this heavily traded zone, you can see over here, then I do, again, think it's likely that we just get some rejection. Now, you have been basing over here on IWM. If you come over here to the hourly time frame, what do we, just like DIA, all right, what do we put in over here, all right? You have a higher low followed by, you have a double bottom here, but higher low, and then you broke the neckline of this double bottom, and now you have a higher high. So I do want to point out, all right, DIA, IWM, both basing, QQ and SPY, just like we were looking at down here, all right, guys, they went off of the races pretty quick, all right, but these things are still putting in basing structures, so bullish structures. Guys, things ain't looking too bad. They can go either way, and that's what I was pointing out, that, hey, all right, we don't actually know what's going to happen, just like I don't, you don't, and the next guy doesn't know. What we can do is we could say, hey, when these things happen, probabilities align, and that situation is more likely than the other situation, all right? But yeah, I do want to point out IWM had its RSI down here at 30. So what were we looking for? We were looking for a bounce, all right? Yeah, you went a little lower, but then you had this big old green bar over there with high volume. So we knew buyers stepped in over here on the small cap. So there's that. Congrats if you held all the way through today. You are finally getting a new high here, unlike QQ and SPY. They've been off the races for quite some time here, a few days there. All right, but now what is it time for, guys? It's time for the lower time frame, the hourly analysis. What do we got going on here? All right, which we're also going to take a look at the 15-minute here. All right, maybe some people don't like the smaller time frames, but I think they are important. I like the 15-minute. So we're going to also look at that. All right, but you got a wick stepping right here. You have an indecision candlestick, but I want to point out you have this hammer candlestick stemming from this resistance over here. So you broke above, you retested it, and boom, it was a successful retest, a hammer candlestick, bullish candlestick, printed off of that level. So we could very well come up here and test that and maybe even break above there. But now I want to take you back down to the 15-minute time frame. And I do want to point out what I am seeing over there. What do we got going on, guys? We have a triple bearish divergence from this point to that point to this point on the RSI. That is not something that you want to be seeing coming into a key level, which this is our key level, because guess what, guys? The next one is like, $4 to $5 up. So this is the key level to pay attention to. If you peek your head up here and say you do something like that, guys, you're very likely not going to have much resistance, like many sellers here, because do you see this? All right, it went straight up at open there. All right, and then it went straight down over here, guys. You don't have a lot of structure going on here, so it's a clean slate. All right, if buyers want to have their way, they will have their way if they just have a successful break and retest here. All right, so that is the level to be paying attention to, but you have this bearish divergence going on, so I do want to point that out. Over here on SPY, you also have the 15-minute RSI being overbought while you're in this zone. And then I also want to take you back over to the hourly time from here, and I want to point out, yes, you don't have structure here. So, once you broke above here, it was off to the races. 441, yesterday's high of day. That was what you were paying attention to. The exact level is 441.18. I took the level off of my chart now. But you know what? Let's add that back. Why? Because if we come down, maybe that is where you have buyers stepping back in. All right, so let's make that the exact level. There you go. But I do want to point out you have that doji candlestick we just looked at, and then you have the hammer candlestick over there. And I want to also point out your hourly RSI is now overbought. So that is something to be paying attention to. You actually have a slight bearish divergence going on over there. You do have a bearish divergence going on here on QQQs. So I'm just going to say, I do think it's like we sell from here. I'm not saying it has to be how that goes, but guys, this is the exact zone we were paying attention to. And then let's just finish off the video with over here on, not Microsoft, Apple. You clicked the wrong one right there. All right. So we were looking for a bounce on Apple. We finally got the bounce on Apple. I will point out you have these big green days going on, especially today, with declining volume. Now, by the end of the day, you're not actually going to have decreasing volume here. It's just 3:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, as of right now it is, but that's not going to be how that ends the day off. What we want to be paying attention to here is, do we get a wick and close underneath this 380.93 level, which is from the high of day over here on August 9th. If we don't, then the door is wide open to come up here. Apple led the way on QQQ today. QQQ has a crazy day going on. Why? Because Apple has a crazy day going on. It's the largest component. All right, so this is what we were paying attention to. We were saying above this 177.33 level, which we started peeking our head above yesterday, you gapped up over it today. So the scenarios I was paying attention to was this right here. I was looking for a back test, but guess what? All right, then you were looking. The door was wide open to up here. So even if you back test, it would have just been the back test, even if you went back down. All right, but your daily RSI is finally getting a boost there, and we are now also going to come over to Goog, and I'm going to put this on your radar. All right, like we were putting see this arrow right here? All right, did I think you were just going to bust out without coming down and testing this level? No, I thought you were going to test 126.72, but instead the level that did get respected was right here. I just had the wrong level on. All right, but you know what? Maybe I got to start changing my zones. We got to do it something like that. All right, we will start paying attention to this. All right, as we go, guys, we will get much better. Year after year, we will get better. I promise you that. If you want, join the community here. We have, 3,060 something of us at this point in time, almost 70 of us. We just hit 3,000 subs, guys. We will be at 4,000 in no time. All right, and then we're going to be at 10,000, and then eventually we'll be at 20,000, and then maybe eventually, all right? Well, not maybe. Eventually, we will be at 50,000 subscribers. We will be a big fish in this pond. All right, our little niche here will be the big fish. But yeah, you see over here, we literally rejected right at this level, 134.07. That was the high of day over here. So you do have a potential double top going on. But above this level is what I want to put on your radar. You have no resistance all the way up here to 140.94. So I do think, guys, hey, all right, depending how the next few days goes, maybe we do get that sell that I was just talking about. But I'm just going to point out, all right, the components of SPY and QQQ, the big ones, they don't look too shabby. All right, just like I was pointing out over here, Apple probably isn't going to be falling much. Like over here, when we started, I was looking at 170, 109 right here as being your bottom. That's what I was looking for. All right, we didn't hit that, but just like on, SPY, we came very close to that level. So, things weren't looking too bad. And we can actually look at Amazon as well over here. This is actually finding resistance. If you see it poke its head up above the high of day over here at 136.65, then guys, you like again, you have room all the way up here, and that's another large component here. Like things aren't looking too bad across the board, and we can actually look at NQ is back within this zone here. So that is something I want to put on your radar. All right, you reclaim this level here. You have this doji candlestick we pointed out. All right, and followed by your confirmation candlestick was this that like bulls were back. I had my thumbnail. It literally said bulls are back. I got a comment saying this doesn't mean bulls are back. No, guys, I was strictly pointing out like, hey, all right, bulls were very clearly stepping up. And if you want to have a bearish bias while we we're more than likely seeing bulls take control for a few days, yeah, all right, that's on you. But the way we do things here on the channel is we will take things level by level. We will take it as we go. We don't sit there having a bias because in the end, all right, guys, do you see what's been going on here? All right. Up here, we were skeptical. On this day, that is when we started the downtrend, all right? And then what happened? We were looking for a back test of this level right here. What happened when we broke down through the zone? We got a back test, and then the next level to be paying attention to was 438. Underneath 438, the next level to be paying attention to was 431.19. So if you're a fan of playing things level by level, such as we do here on the channel, hey, I think you're going to have a jolly good time here. I think this is the place for you. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.